Hey everyone! Today, I'm going to break down a Python program that calculates the factorial of a number. What is a factorial of the number? The factorial of a non-negative integer is just the product of all positive integers up to that number. For example, 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 120. Let's start writing our code. First off, we ask the user to input a number. I'm going to use num as a variable, equal to int input. The int input part ensures that whatever the user enters is treated as an integer. Next, we check if the entered number is negative. We are going to use if-else statement. If the number is less than 0, then we print factorial is not defined for negative numbers. Now we type else. We initialize a variable called factorial with a value of 1. Using for loops to calculate the factorial of the number. Here's where the magic happens. We start a loop that goes from 1 to the entered number inclusive. This loop will help us multiply all the numbers together to calculate the factorial. Here I'm going to use range between 1 and number plus 1. Let me explain you this line of code with some examples so that you will understand more about for loops. Let me select all of our previous code and make it comment. By doing this, the selected code won't run. We start with for I in range 5. Here, for is a keyword in Python used to start a loop. I is a variable that will take on each value in the sequence generated by range 5. Let's use print function to print I. And press on the run button here. As we are using range 5, it will print out numbers from 0 to 4, each on a new line. Now let's use 3 as an example. And run the code. It will print out numbers from 0 to 2, each on a new line. The range can be also in between 2 and 6. Press the run button again. This range generates 2, 3, 4, and 5. Starting from 2, inclusive, up to 6, exclusive. I hope this example gives you an idea about for loops and how this line of code is going to work. Next, we will continue with our problem. Let me remove this 2 lines of code. And now I'm going to select all of this and uncomment them by pressing Ctrl+/. This loop is set up to run from 1 to number plus 1. Inside the loop, we're multiplying the current value of factorial, which starts at 1, by I. I takes on each value in the range from 1 to number. So, with each iteration of the loop, we are gradually building up the factorial value. We're using Python's print function here, using an f string to inject the value of number and factorial right into our string. It's super important to keep number and factorial inside those curly braces. Finally, let's run our code and see whether it's running properly. Enter the number. I will press 3 and enter. It says the factorial of 3 is 6. It's perfect. I will rerun the code and check for factorial of 5. The answer is 120. Alright, now that we've got that covered, thanks for tuning in. I will see you in next video. Bye-bye.